So welcome to my first segment of Kombucha with Katie. Yeah! And today I'm with Caroline Howard, who is one of the founders of Walker Brothers Kombucha.
Hey guys.
Which happens to be my favorite brand of kombucha. And we're gonna film today at the brewery.
So let's kick it off with a cheers.
Shall we? Oh! Cheers!
So refreshing.
So Caroline, you have lived all over. You guys have lived in London, you've lived in New York. Nashville's become this hot spot. What made you guys choose Nashville to come back to Nashville?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Tennessee. I was born in Murfreesboro, grew up in Chattanooga, and then went to high school in Hendersonville. So very much a Tennessee girl. John and I met at Vanderbilt, so in Nashville. And after our kind of stint in London, we were called back to the US, and it was kind of mid-pandemic. Nashville seemed like as good a place as any to be and be close to family. So we settled here, and we were back and forth between Nashville and New York for a while, but after having our daughter, we decided to settle in Nashville, and we're so happy to be here.
Yeah, and look what has happened since you moved here.
Yes, yeah.
So you being an entrepreneur and doing so many different things in business, how did you decide to get involved in Walker Brothers, and how did that come about?
That's a great question. So I always joke that I'm Caroline Howard. I'm not a Walker or a brother, but I'm one of the co-founders. And I've actually known Sam and Luke since college. They grew up with my husband in Boston, and so when I met John in college, I also met Sam and Luke because Sam was at Belmont. And yeah, so they've been in my life for a while, and we were back in Nashville and tried their kombucha that they were home brewing, and it tasted better than anything we'd ever had, and we really believed in the product and decided to work with them to get it off the ground.
When you say they were home brewing, where were they brewing?
Yeah, so they were in Sam's house in East Nashville, brewing in, I think, like gallon-sized glass jugs in Sam's pantry. And then from the pantry, it grew to the garage. And then from the garage, it grew to our first brewery. And
Wow.
then in October of 2022, we moved into this facility. So
Wow.
we've been here for about 2 years now.
And I cannot believe all of the equipment,
Yes,
all that you're producing.
it's pretty
It's come
wild.
a long way.
It's come a long way from the East Nashville pantry, for sure.
That is wild. So where are you guys in stores now?
Yes, so you can find us pretty much all over the Southeast, Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, and a big announcement coming for January is that we'll be in Kroger stores in Nashville, which is really exciting. And outside of Nashville, we're in a lot of places too. We're launching an H-E-B for any Texas folks. We'll be there beginning in December. And then, yeah, we're just kind of like all over.
Cheers to that. Not only do you guys do just regular kombucha, you also do a hard kombucha.
We do a hard kombucha. So this is actually one of our hard kombucha cans behind us here. And so hard kombucha is basically just like a higher alcohol content version of a non-alc kombucha, because anything that's fermented is going to have some trace amounts of alcohol, even like a juice or something does. So it's not psychoactive in the non-alc. But what we're doing with the hard kombucha is we're just adding a little bit more yeast and allowing that alcohol content to rise. So it's a super clean alcoholic drink for those that partake.
So if you drink and you want a healthier version, would the hard kombucha be that?
Yes, absolutely. So alcohol is never healthy, but it, got to be honest about it. But it's definitely a better alternative that will feel better on your stomach for sure.
Better than bourbon.
Probably better than bourbon.
So one question I have is, how long does it take to brew the kombucha, and kind of show us what the process is?
Sure thing. So for the non-alc kombucha, it takes about 3 weeks from start to finish, and we start with what's called a brew day. So we're basically brewing a sweet tea concentrate, which is kind of fun because people sometimes think kombucha is this really exotic beverage, but it starts out with sweet tea. And then after the sweet tea concentrate is brewed, we're diluting that with filtered water, and then we're adding our SCOBY and our house culture. So the SCOBY is the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast that turns it into kombucha, really. So we let let that ferment, and then once that fermentation process is done, are flavoring the product, carbonating it, and then packing it off.
What do you think is different about your kombucha versus other brands?
Yeah, so relative to other brands, Walker Brothers is going to taste a lot less vinegary. So I think a lot of people, when they think about kombucha, they think, oh, it's going to taste like vinegar, but not with Walker Brothers. It's pleasantly tart, but you don't get that vinegary aftertaste. It just tastes really good. You don't have to believe it's good for you to want to drink the whole can.
One reason that I love Walker Brothers versus others is I love the can. I love how easy it is to drink it. Again, I love that it's not so vinegary.
Yeah.
Like you said, I love that it has just that nice, pleasant, tart taste. And I love the flavors that you guys have. This is one of my favorite, the ginger.
And the ginger is really fun. So what we're doing with the ginger is the only ingredient that's in that is a cold pressed Peruvian ginger juice. And I specify Peruvian because a lot of the ginger that you'll have will be Chinese ginger. And that's great in a lot of things, but for kombucha, it kind of makes it taste a little too sweet and almost enhances that like vinegary flavor. But with the Peruvian ginger, it's got this great spice to it. So you're getting more of a ginger beer kind of feel versus like a sushi ginger feel.
Interesting.
So that might be why you like the ginger flavor.
I love it.
You like the spice.
I love the cucumber melon too.
Oh yeah, that's a favorite for sure. So with the cucumber melon, we've got organic honeydew juice and organic cucumber juice, and it just creates a super hydrating, refreshing beverage.
Do you have like a large filter? Is the water, the teas, the things like that being filtered?
Yeah, so we've got a big water filter here, and actually this tank over there, we call it our water cooler. So we just keep that filled with cold filtered water, and it's fun because we use it for brewing, but also if you want to fill up your water bottle during the day, you can just kind of walk over there and fill up your water bottle, which is pretty fun.
That's fantastic. So we got to show off this huge walk-in cooler.
Yeah.
Show all the product that you've got in here.
So this is where we keep our product while it's waiting to go out on purchase orders or to be shipped to consumers. It's a pretty big cooler, and believe it or not, we do run out of space sometimes. So you can never have too much cold storage if you're a kombucha brewery.
What temperature do you keep the cooler?
So I think it's probably about 40 degrees.
Okay, well, it's chilly enough. Let's scoot out of here. This has been a lot of fun. Caroline, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much, Katie. Anytime.
Such a treat, and cheers.
Yeah, cheers one last time.
So Caroline is so kind to have us to her beautiful home. It's on one of the most iconic streets in Nashville, and she's going to share a little bit of why she chose this house.
Absolutely. Well, so my husband and I were really drawn to this house because of the traditional architecture, the beautiful lawn, and just the character that it had. We just love it.
And it's so close to everything.
Absolutely.
In town.
Yes, it's very close to everything. We are kind of formerly in New York City and London, and so being in Nashville, we wanted to get the big lawn and landscaping that you can have in Nashville, but we still wanted to be close to a lot of amenities, and here you really have the best of both worlds.
So now we get to go take a peek inside, and I'm curious, what would you consider the style of the home, and what inspired you?
Sure. So as I mentioned before, my husband and I lived in London for almost 5 years, and we were really influenced by all of the interiors in the UK just generally. Tons of prints, lots of fun fabrics and wallpaper, and so we really wanted that like kind of cozy countryside feeling, but with a few southern touches. So yeah, come on in.
Let's check it out. I am obsessed with this wallpaper, your window treatments. Did you have a designer?
We did. So we worked with Kate Sigler. She's a designer here in Nashville, and she really helped us bring that vision to life of wanting just English countryside vibes mixed with some southern flair. And I feel like this room is kind of a perfect combination of those two things. We have this beautiful, cheery wallpaper, really brings the outside in. You have peonies and magnolias, and there's this beautiful magnolia tree outside. And so I love how it just kind of brings the outside in. And then the really sweet gingham window treatments with kind of this velvet touch are just add some nice flair.
What would you say is your favorite room in the house?
Probably the living room. We
Let's
spend
check
a lot
that
of time in here.
So now we're in the living room, and maybe you could share with us some things that you guys did to make it your own.
Absolutely. So we brought in a lot of our furniture from our apartment in New York. So that already helped it feel like home. And then I would say for us, like John and I really love to read, listen to podcasts. We also play a lot of backgammon. So back here in the corner, we've got our games table with our backgammon board. So you can typically find us there at some point.
They're smarty pants.
at some point during the weekend playing backgammon. And then we also just love being able to have the built-in, lots of books. The built-ins weren't originally here, so that's something that we added after we bought the home. And yeah, we love kind of being surrounded by books that are meaningful to us and things that we've collected and photos of the family. So it really is, you know, homey.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I am obsessed with this kitchen as well, and I know you guys entertain all the time. So who is the cook? Is it you or John?
Definitely John. He's the cook in our family. I like to joke that I'm his sous chef and I can do salads and drinks, but he kind of does everything else.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I need to get Russell on that plan. So was there anything that you guys added to the kitchen, or did the kitchen come like this?
So the kitchen came looking extremely beautiful, and it was one of the things that really drew us to the home. Like I mentioned, my husband does a lot of the cooking, and so we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so it's nice to have such a large space and also have a place for my daughter's play kitchen, for her to play while we're working in here. But in terms of what we added, we really just added the little draperies on the windows. Kate, our designer, helped us pick out that fabric, and we just felt like the little repeating pattern is so sweet and really worked well in the space.
It's such a nice touch, and it really makes it feel homey. And I'm obsessed with this island.
Yes, it's so good and perfect for entertaining.
Yes.
Great for setting up lots of food, and then we usually do little drinks over in the corner, so it's great.
So now we're in the sunroom, and I love this paint color that you chose. What color is the paint?
Thank you. So this is a Faro and Ball color called Vert de Terre, and it's really just so perfect for the sunroom. Again, just love bringing the outside into the space.
It's beautiful. This garden surrounding us feels like we're almost in London. I can see why you chose the house. It feels like very English.
Yes, we love this little garden, and I'm working on growing some roses outside, though I don't have the best green thumb, but
There's one peeking
we've got
out
one
right here.
peeking out, which is a real victory for me.
Thank you so much for showing us around the brewery, showing us around your beautiful home, and
Of course.
just being a good friend.
Oh, well, thank you, Katie. We're so grateful to you for helping us get this house. I think we called you maybe around this time last year saying we had found it and we wanted to try to make it ours. And you worked so tirelessly on our behalf to make it happen. And we're just so grateful to be here and be surrounded by so much beauty every day.
Well, that warms my heart. This has been fun.
Thanks, guys.